Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. Luffy's greatest treasure, the straw hat that symbolizes his crew and makes a major part of his Jolly Roger, is not just a hat, but it once belonged to some very important characters and may have a very great secret behind this straw hat's origin and why some characters have been seen wearing it. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the straw hat that belongs to Luffy and that previously belonged to several other powerful pirates, and theorize about the secret that this hat may have. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel or even if you've watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like and even subscribe and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or another one of your favorites with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, the straw hat that we know has been used by many powerful pirates like Goldie Roger, Shanks, and is currently being used by our protagonist, Monkey D. Luffy. However, within the work of One Piece, there are several other straw hats very similar to the one that Luffy uses. Throughout our story of One Piece, Monkey D. Luffy's straw hat is not only the main symbol of the entire series in the logo, and even his Jolly Roger. The origin of his nickname is even Straw Hat Luffy, which became something of a memorable thing for us fans and for characters within the work. His straw hat was given to him by his idol and rather mentor, red-haired Shanks, when he was a child, and he promised to return the hat to him when he became a great pirate, a promise that Luffy and not even Shanks are ever able to forget and hold to this very day. Much later, during the Straw Hat Pirates' departure to Fishman Island, it was revealed by Silver's Rayleigh that this straw hat originally belonged to Goldie Roger, known as the King of the Pirates. Now, we don't know when exactly or why Roger started wearing that hat. However, the world government and even the Navy recognizes that pirates who wear or have posed with this hat have a great danger to the world government and the world itself. Although Luffy's straw hat is his greatest treasure, he is seen without it from time to time. This is usually because he doesn't want anything bad to happen to it, in which case he usually hands it over to another member of his crew for safekeeping. There have been other times where he's hidden his hat so as not to be identified, because Luffy is recognized worldwide for wearing the hat that was once owned by Roger and Shanks. A good example of this was during the Whole Cake Island arc, where Luffy hid his hat inside of another black hat to be able to disguise himself within the citizens of that kingdom belonging to the Empress Big Mom. During the story of One Piece, we've seen that Luffy's hat has been damaged by his enemies twice, which made him extremely angry when it happened, because he needed that hat because of his promise that he made to Shanks during his childhood. The first time this occurred was when he fought Buggy, and when fighting Luffy, he even spat on him when he learned that this hat had belonged to Shanks, because he had a deep hatred for the red-haired man. After the fight, Nami patched the hat for him. However, every once in a while, we do see the marks on the hat where it was repaired, but other times, it's shown as if it's never been injured, making us forget that it's ever been damaged. This hat is so important to Luffy that he was overjoyed when he saw that Nami was able to fix it. And it's also had several holes poked in it several times, which unfortunately damaged the hat a second time. Seeing that Luffy had managed to damage the hat again, Nami hit him with the sharp end of the needle that she had used earlier to fix the hat from Buggy's attack, as it had only been a temporary repair. So again, Nami needed to fix Luffy's hat for a second time. A while later during the Alabasta arc, when Ace leaves the Straw Hats in Vivi, he ends up giving Luffy a piece of his Vivre card. After saving the straw hat from being eaten by Matsuge, Nami sewed the paper on the inside of the red band that goes around the circumference of Luffy's hat. After that repair, the hat was also given a string so that Luffy could safely wear it on his body and not have to worry about it flying off his head, making the hat even safer to use. During the Marineford arc, following the Battle of the Best, the hat was about to be returned to Shanks' hands after Shanks managed to get the hat away from Luffy, because it fell off Luffy's head when Jinbei, who was carrying him, was hit by Admiral Akainu. You see, Luffy had just had his heart broken after seeing Ace lose his life right in front of him, and he hadn't noticed that he'd lost his hat, and neither had Jinbei, who was busy dealing with the Admiral. After Shanks took the hat, he convinced Buggy to return the hat to Luffy, who ended up in Trafalgar Law's temporary care. The hat was then handed over to Silver's Rayleigh, who in turn returned it to Straw Hat Luffy after he had recovered. But before his trading with Rayleigh on Rusakana Island, Luffy left the hat in the only safe place on an island on top of a rock. After 2 years of training together with Rayleigh, Luffy went back to go get his hat and put it on his head and set out on his adventure to find his friends once again. This hat that Luffy owns has a much longer history too, because it participated in all of Roger's journey until he found the One Piece treasure, and then spent a long time with Shanks until the Yonko decided to pass it on to Luffy. It's easy to imagine that a lot lot must have happened to this straw hat while Shanks and Roger were both wearing it. And the hat itself had been with Roger since the beginning of his adventure as a pirate, which could mean that it has a much greater significance. In this hat, it could have some kind of inherited will or determination or something like that, because while Roger was carrying it, he maintained his dream to become king of the pirates. And after Shanks donned the hat, he inherited that very same determination. But after passing on that will to the new generation, when he gave Luffy his straw hat, that will to become the king of the pirates rubbed off on the young pirate, something that he already had the desire for. However, what Shanks did was intensify his goal and give him someone to chase in order to become the king of the pirates, becoming more than a goal, in fact becoming a promise in which it would be necessary for Luffy to give his all to make this goal and dream come true. Because Shanks, and for all of those that believed in Luffy, would be there when he became the king of the pirates, just like Roger once was. The hat that Luffy currently has is the thing that stands out the most, because Luffy, Shanks, and Roger have used it during their adventures to achieve their goals. However, this is not the only straw hat that we've seen in the world of One Piece. The first straw hat that was presented to us besides the one that Luffy currently wears was Oars Jr. This hat was not at all similar to Luffy's, other than that it was made of straw, as it was just a simple hat, but it was probably made in homage to Luffy's hat. We learned in the story that Ace was responsible for having made it and giving it to Oars Jr., as he believed it would help the giant since it was so close to the sun, probably inspired by the hat that his father Roger wore, and later passed on to his brother Luffy. Oars Jr. was so moved by the gift that during the Battle of Marineford, and remembering this incredible gift he had received in the past from Ace, it made him give his all to try and save him during his execution. We also saw Tomorrow Black wore a straw hat similar to Luffy's in a very poor attempt to impersonate it. However, his was much different in that it was worn and unkempt with a flat top instead of a round dome, and having a striped band around its circumference. During all the confusion that happened in Sarabati Archipelago, in which the Navy invaded the place to arrest the pirates that were causing confusion, the hat fell off when Sentomaru crushed Tomorrow Black's head, causing the hat to be lost in the archipelago. Other people who've worn a hat very similar to Luffy's were the children of Fishman Island, after Luffy and his crew defeated the new Fishman pirates and saved the whole of Fishman Island. The children wanted straw hats so they could play hero just like Luffy did for them. And despite the adults saying that the straw hats could only be bought on the surface, Jinbei stated that he would get some for them, and after getting the hats, the children rejoiced. And finally, the most mysterious and yet unrevealed straw hat that has appeared throughout the story of One Piece so far is while Doflamingo was in prison, he said that there was something in the Gorosei's vault that could shake the world if people ever found out about it. As a former world noble, Doflamingo knows many secrets of the world government, in addition to the ones that he already managed to discover while he was king of the underworld. This was during the time that he was recognized as the Joker in Kaido's deck, while he ruled over Dressrosa with an iron fist. Throughout all of his trading of secrets, Doflamingo discovered that there was something that the Gorosei had that could send the whole world into a panic if they ever learned about the existence of this object. It was later revealed to us that this object that the Gorosei keeps inside a vault was a huge straw hat that was kept in a freezer room in Marijois. This hat was so big that it even seemed to dwarf Im-sama's size. Now, we don't know the real meaning of the straw hat, or even why Doflamingo says that it would put people into a panic if they found out about it. However, many in the community, and even us, speculate that there is a very strong possibility that this hat could be the very one that belonged to the former Joy Boy, a figure from the past who was of great importance, being responsible for taking his treasure and all the knowledge to a place that would later be known as Laugh-Tale Island and the home of the One Piece treasure. Even in depictions throughout the community have shown the former Joy Boy as a giant wearing the very same straw hat. And there are others in the community who have even said that the roundness of the straw hat and the red band symbolizes something like a dawn or a sunrise, and it could even have greater significance about bringing the dawn to the world. So this means that this big straw hat could have an even greater significance than just the fact that Luffy is wearing a hat like it, because there's gotta be a connection, because they're not just similar, they are identical, the only difference being their size. So as we move forward our story and we head towards this final saga in One Piece, we look forward to learning what the significance of this hat is and how it connects to the dawn and our mysterious character, Joy Boy. But with all that said, my friends, we'd love to know what you think about it now. What do you think the connection is between the hat in the vault and Luffy's hat? Do you think it was Joy Boy's? And also, why do you think they're keeping it in a freezer? There have been some different scattered ideas that perhaps if Joy Boy was the former user of the Nika fruit, that it's rubbery and the freezer is meant to keep it that size or to keep it from disappearing. But what do you think about it? And also, what do you think the hat symbolizes in the greater significance of the One Piece story? Let us know what you think in the comments below. So as we bring our video to a close, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching the video, especially those of you who've hung out all the way here to the very end. Be sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like and hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.